So this is me at the beginning of my trip. We took a departure flight around midnight, so we had a nighttime flight going to Chicago. I believe it was about a 4 to 5 hour flight. Right now you can see us flying over the downtown SF area, which was really beautiful to capture. You can see the tallest building over there, which is Salesforce Tower, with the LEDs at the very top of the tower. And then over here we're flying over the East Bay area with all the city lights just shining during the night. And this is my favorite thing about nighttime flights. But yeah, then I was able to capture the sunrise in Chicago. We were landing around 5 to 6 a.m. so we were definitely able to start a whole day new fresh in downtown Chicago. So here we are landing. It was pretty interesting to see how the ambience was in Chicago. It felt like Chicago came alive with this ambience as the city basks in the warmth of the early summer. In all of my travel vlogs, you probably have seen that I take videos of every time the plane flies off and also lands in their destination. So that's what I always do, just to see how smooth the plane actually lands. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, we're riding United, as you can tell from this terminal full of just United planes. And yeah, here we are looking for our terminal, our gate, and yeah, we just landed into this airport, and this is my first time in Chicago, so it was really nice to see what the airport really looked like. I was getting like retro-y vibes from this airport, but I really like the ceiling. And then we were trying to look for the public transportation area, going to the CTA, which is the Chicago Transit Authority. And so we went down these walking conveyor belts, and I was just enjoying this beautiful lighting of everything. And then I got this map of the public transportation, looking at like how different it really is compared to the public transportation in my city, at least. And then yeah, we made it to the CTA, and then we were here to buy our fare and tickets per person. I came here with my family of 5, so definitely was looking at like the different tickets that I should be buying. I was debating whether to get a single trip ticket or round trip ticket, so that you can see I was getting like 2 single round trip tickets. And it was, I guess, $10 for a round trip ticket. Then I looked at the one-way ticket, which was only $5, and then I was looking at the other ones, which was the one-day ticket. So I looked at the price of that, look at that one ticket, and apparently it was only $5. So I was like, why not just buy that instead? I wouldn't have to worry about a round trip ticket if it was just a one-day thing. So we all got a one-day ticket for $5 each, which is not bad actually. And something about the payment method of the machine just wasn't working. Like, it would take so long to process the payment, and we slot this card in for like probably at least 10 different times, and it still wouldn't like process it. But then eventually, after a few more times, we were able to let the machine process it. So definitely a trial and error kind of method. Then we got our receipt, and we were ready to go. That's me walking through the gate, and you can see I was holding on to a Venture card, which is the actual card to like reload the transportation pass with, and there's this really nice stranger that was coming to the airport for their next flight, and they didn't need that card anymore, so she just gave it to me. And I was like, oh great, thanks so much. So we definitely were able to just reload that card. And then once taking the train, we stopped by this mall, which is connected to the transportation station. And then we went out of that mall because it was not really open. It was still pretty early in the morning, so a lot of stores were still closed that early. We walked around the downtown area and just explored what the skyscrapers and the buildings were like. I saw this huge building with Corinthian pillars, and I was like, wow, my architectural senses are tingling. And then I saw this huge spire of a tower, and I was like, ooh, what's this too? I didn't really know the actual building or what it was actually of. And yeah, it was still pretty early, so it was pretty empty in the downtown areas. And I just walked around, explored the area. And this building is like a food court, and we were looking at it. It was pretty barricaded. And then this is when we went back to the mall area, like nearby that area, to take some pictures of the Broadway, because it was really pretty to look at. And then bam, Chicago. That's when you know you are in Chicago. Then we saw this huge Trump building, which I was not really expecting to see. And then, wow, CTA, there we go, the transit system. And then it reminded me of that one scene when Spider-Man was like trying to stop the train from going off the rails. And you can see my brother was trying to recreate that scene. And then we walked more toward the Riverwalk area, which is where the river is, near this huge skyscraper of a Trump building. With these statues, it was really funny to look at, so I had my dad and my two brothers recreate this little pose of George Washington and his colleagues. Afterwards, we went down the sets of stairs going toward the Riverwalk, this iconic river, which is basically the heart of Chicago. So all down I went these stairs and went toward the river. It was really nice to see all the boats just floating down the river as we just strolled down it. As I walked through the Riverwalk, I was treated to breathtaking vistas of iconic landmarks like the Willis Tower, the Tribune Tower, all while the gentle flow of the Chicago River, which added a really nice, soothing soundtrack to my experience of walking around this area. Then I came across the Chicago police on a boat, which kind of reminded me of like the police on GTA when you probably hit like 3 stars but you're in the ocean. And then I continued to walk around the area to look at the cruises and just all of the towers nearby this river. Is really nice. The Chicago Riverwalk isn't just a scenic pathway, it's a dynamic urban experience that reflects the city's vibrant and accessible waterfront for everyone to enjoy. What really impressed me about Chicago was just how a lot of activities would happen around this Riverwalk. We definitely took a lot of pictures, and one of them was a panoramic view of the whole Riverwalk. And we were trying to take a family photo, so we had to like rotate. So one person would take the picture, and then midway would go back to where everyone was posing. And eventually our hand kind of like was not stable while doing that. So one of my brother's faces were kind of like janky after taking that photo, and I was just straight up cracking up for a good straight 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah. Eventually I just continued against the Riverwalk until the ends of the actual area.
I know.
Let me just tell you that Chicago is so famous for its iconic and diverse architecture. Here I am zooming into the Opera Tower made by Studio Game. There's a lot of famous architects like Frank Lloyd Wright, Mies van der Rohe, and a lot more people just designing a lot of buildings in Chicago. As we were taking a break near the end of the Riverwalk, I saw these two interesting pigeons just like chilling together. One of them was just like chasing one another, so very interesting. Pecking on a little pigeon. Basically harassment. It looks like harassment to me. Then I made it up above the Riverwalk area near the highway level just to see everything. You can see the sign Chicago Riverwalk and just everything nearby. All the towers, the different businesses that are open. I see the fire department. And yeah, this is when we were starting to go toward the Millennium Park where the bean is. On our walk there, I always came across this aqua tower, which I took a lot of pictures of because I learned all about the building and how it's not very good in terms of thermal breaks, which I can go into depth, but this is not an architecture video, this is a vlog. But yeah, there's a lot of nice resting areas to sit and just socialize, maybe eat a pastry while drinking some coffee while enjoying the view, which is very nice. It's just a concrete jungle in Chicago, and we're here very nearby the Millennium Park. We're making our way toward there right now. And here we are at Millennium Park. You can see a top-down view, or basically a floor plan of how big this park is. We see the founders of Millennium Park and just all the different areas. You can probably see a little bit of the bean, but not as much because of all the trees that are blocking the view. And at this point, our feet were so tired from all the walking that we've done. So we took a little bit of a rest here at the benches for a bit, and I continued on with vlogging. I was like, what is this interesting sci-fi piece? And then here it is, the famous bean, the Big Bean of Chicago, which is definitely a big touristy spot. A lot of people were taking a lot of pictures, going inside, seeing what kind of reflections and deformities you can find inside the bean. But yeah, it's really gorgeous looking at the bean. I'm going to share a few fun facts that I researched about the bean. So the sculpture is officially named as Cloud Gate, but it's commonly referred as the bean because of its shape resembling a gigantic reflective kidney bean. And the material is made out of highly polished stainless steel plates, giving it a very seamless and reflective surface. As you can tell, the reflective quality really allows you to see the mirror of the city skyline and the people interacting with it. The sculpture is about 33 feet tall, and when it was being constructed between 2004 and 2006, the design was achieved by welding and polishing the stainless steel plates to eliminate all the visible seams of it. The reflective surface is really great in that it creates a dynamic and visual experience. I know for sure I was interacting with this bean a lot with all the videos and pictures I was taking. It's basically like a huge mirror pic. And going inside it, you can see all the distortions it has in the middle of it. I was actually wondering how it would look like in the nighttime. Just see how reflective it is with the city lights and the surrounding skyline. It would definitely be really great to see. Then over here I was following this crowd with a tour guide, which was like showing us how the reflection of the bean really just gives you a whole 360 view of the Chicago skyline. And here I'm taking a video of all of my fam together, which is really nice. Take a lot of pictures, as you can tell from my trip. And yeah, just a lot of silly goofy videos and pictures that I'll be sharing at the end of this video. It's just really pretty to see. Hey, I see myself. It's definitely really fun to interact with the bean, just take a lot of pictures and see our reflections and how it just becomes distorted as you walk around the area. But yeah, we spent probably at least an hour taking pictures here. It's like pictures outside the bean, inside the bean, reflections of us on the bean. Yeah, it was just really nice to see. Very touristy. Probably the best touristy spot to take pictures of because Chicago is always known for the big bean.
Anybody need weed? Anybody need weed? Put it on there. Weed. For you. Anybody need weed?
What's funny here is that some guy was asking if anyone needed weed, and I was like, what? What's going on here? But yeah. Then nearby the bean, we saw this huge auditorium space. I'm not sure what kind of event was being prepared here, but it was really interesting. Maybe it was like a graduation, since it's like, I guess that's summer area.
How do you know this is graduation?
I guess it was like during that time it would be. And then, yeah, we said our goodbyes to the bean and made our way toward our food spot. We definitely wanted to try like something new, something very well known that Chicago is famous for, and it was deep dish pizza. So we went to this place called Giordano's and ate some deep dish pizza because we know Chicago is known for the deep dish pizza. So we walked in, got a table of 5 near like the back area, and yeah. We probably waited at least 40 minutes for this pizza to bake, but it's actually really good. Like they put all the pepperoni sauce at the top and then all the actual flavor of the pizza under all that sauce. So definitely pretty great to eat some deep dish pizza in Chicago. It was just extra chunky, as you can tell from the amount of cheese in that pizza. I'm just not sure if it's worth the wait though, waiting for this chunky pizza to be done and ready to eat. But definitely good to be satisfied with that. And then eventually we went back and took our train ride home. Okay.
This is. Oh, look at my posture.
Oh my god.
Doing your oh my.
You want whatever you
What?
Papunta naman sa ganun.